good. So all you need is a margarita. Hi, this is Ron at the Yankee Hill Winery Cooking School. Today I have a request. The other day on Facebook I posted my birthday breakfast, which was Swedish pancakes. I happen to be married to a Swedish wife, and so she made some up for me. And so I had requests of people wanting to know how to make them. And so we have 3 eggs, 3 ounces of melted butter. We have half a teaspoon of salt and 1 cup of all-purpose flour and 2.5 cups of whole milk. And so the first thing we do is to just take the eggs. We'll get those in a bowl so we can whisk them. And always break your eggs on a flat surface, because this will reduce the fact of bacteria getting in that might get in there from the shell of the egg if you hit it on the side of the bowl. And so we put those in like that, and then we just want to whisk them. And once they're whisked like that, we're going to add our salt and our flour. And so here we'll just start to stir that together. And the secret to getting these so they're nice and smooth is to just add a little bit of milk at a time. And so you just add a little bit, bring in a little more flour, and kind of whisk it so it gets smooth. And then we just bring in a little more milk. And when it's thick like this, makes it so the viscosity, you can get the lumps out. Like that. See it smoothing out. Okay, and then a little more milk. And Swedish pancakes, if you haven't had them, they're the real thin ones. And Norwegians make them up too. All of the Scandinavian countries do. I used to live right next door to my grandmother, and so I would, on Saturday mornings, run through the gate and go up the stairs, and my grandmother would be there making up these wonderful pancakes, and they were just delicious. And she would pick her own strawberries. She had a place in Golden Gate Park in San Francisco where she knew that wild strawberries were, and so she would pick those and make jam out of them, and we would have that, or we would have homemade maple syrup. Both of those are just great. So we're almost there. We'll just keep adding this. And there we go. And so here I'm going to just now add in our melted butter. Get that in. Okay, there we go. And then here I'm going to use a small pan. You'd use a bigger pan if you like. We'll just get that heated up. And so here I'm using a 2 ounce. It's probably a little bit too big. Let me see. We'll start with a 1 ounce ladle and then we'll go from there. Now here we can just butter our pan. And I like to just take a cube of butter and stick a fork in it. And just run that around. And we want to wait until it starts to turn a little bit brown. And then we'll have it. So this is heating up. And you can see the bubbles start to break. So we're almost there. I'll get some syrup here. This is homemade maple syrup, and there's a recipe on YouTube if you want to check. Okay, I'm going to see how this goes. So this is almost like making crepes. And it just starts to bubble up and cook. And then you can take a silicone spatula and just kind of run it around the edge, just so it's free. The first one usually the cook gets. Okay, and then we can just, whoops. This is why the cook gets it, is because usually the first one gets kind of crumpled up. And just let that cook for a little bit. The next one we'll let cook longer. You can take this right out like that. And then if you want, you can put a little butter like that. Doesn't take very much. I'm going to add just a little bit more. And then you want to just tilt this around like that. Okay, that does look good. There we go. A little more butter. So we'll just let these cook for just a little bit. And if you want, you could put some butter on that and let it melt. I also like cinnamon and sugar. So here we'll just let it just let that set for a little bit. And what I do is I just put syrup on these and then I roll them up. They wind up tasting wonderful. They're also real good with raspberry jam, all sorts of things. The problem with once you make these up, then they'll be in demand from then on. And just loosen that up a little. And then you can take a peek to see if underneath, and just let that sit for a bit. So these can be cooked up in no time at all. Yeah, I have 38 first cousins. And I was the lucky one that lived next door to Grandma. And so whenever I wanted to give them a bad time, I'd tell them how good Grandma's pancakes were. Okay, then we take this, flip it over. And then we just take them right out, lay them right on the plate like that. And then, if you want, you can put a little butter on them. And then some syrup, like that. And there we have some wonderful pancakes. And you just eat them with a fork. Try them. Reminds me of my grandmother. They're just wonderful. So give them a try. Thanks for watching.